tukamwambia Kasongo. Tukamwambia wewe Kasongo wewe. Wewe Kasongo wewe. Wewe Kasongo wewe. 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 Na mwezi wa kini.
Well, hi guys. DCP just stamped authority in Mount Kenyan region, being the ruling party of the mountain, where Rigathi Gachagua has secured a position after Olkalau won the by-elections. Remember, Sammy Douglas Kamau has gotten 35,440 votes against the UDA candidate Samuel Muchina, who got 5,450 votes. What a dust that UDA. So, all those empowerment programs that UDA did, and Mount Kenya was actually under the impression that they know exactly whom they are going to vote for and whom they have decided or chosen to run in their mountain. We've seen all those videos circulating, and actually, I was under the impression that Gachagua is actually going to emerge victor unless they rig, making it some impossible kind of elections. We saw what transpired during the whole election. It was chaotic. We had officers in plain clothes who actually even abducted one of their agents, making it quite difficult. There were scenes that are way beyond imaginable, and they wanted their party to win. Remember the other time when they had an empowerment and they came out in the streets, threw out all these fears of UDA on the roads, making it, like rags that are going to clean the streets. But UDA didn't get the message. It's quite challenging that Methu actually stamped authority. He made it work, even without Rigathi Gachagua stepping in Olkalau to make these things possible. Just Methu alone made it work. He made a choice to stand with one of their own, Douglas Waweru, to make him a candidate of DCP. That is interesting. An interesting theory.
Mkubali, asiyekubali kushindwa sio mshindani. Leo ni mimi, sisemi kesho si nyinyi, kesho bado ni mimi 2027. Nyinyi mgoje na hapo mbele na hapo mgoje na hapo mbele. But all the ideas that you had, I listened to most of you. You have great, brilliant ideas. We can always share for the betterment of Olkalau. We can always engage. So wherever you are, my closest opponent was the UDA candidate, Samuel Muchina Nyaga. It's good that you considered defeat. I also want to extend a hand. You are a brother. But as I'd always said, you had control over the goons, but maybe they were beyond you. But I want to tell you, I am always there. And I know because you are serving in the parliament, in that office as the office manager, I know we interact as you do the handover. We can engage one or two. God bless you. Today also at Mumbi Primary, I noticed the goons attacking the fourth estate. It is very sad. Media people are in hospital, Olkalau JM. Some lost their cameras and their instruments. And it is very shameful. There are people that we don't touch. It's the media people. Because you give us information that is not biased. So I want to tell those members of parliament. And they come to this radio station, you host them. Please give them a blackout. Because they are the people you are hosting, and then they come and start beating your people. I urge all these media houses that are here, give blackout to...
He was very intelligent. He didn't want what happened in Mbeere North by-elections. Remember the Mbeere North by-elections? UDA won with quite some good amount of number of votes, and it was alleged that they rigged in plain daylight with the massive security and force. You understand, people have come to vote. Why use massive force? We could see canisters coming around. And you know what? The people of Olkalau decided they are going to guard their vote with all their life. What an interesting thing. With all those empowerment, guys, who missed it? The empowerment was massive. We had gases, we had mattresses, we had pipes, we had even boats. And the empowerment was massive. We had gases, we had mattresses, we had pipes, we had even boats. And guess what? These people were consuming all these items in their mind, knowing very well they are not going to vote for UDA. They are rather going to vote for DCP, which is going to stand out, meaning they have locked Ruto out of Mount Kenyan region. This just confirms that Gashagwa has stamped authority and he has the power over the mountain. This is interesting. Gashagwa actually entrusted Methu with these Olkalau by-elections and he came through with it. Heads up. He came through with it. He stamped authority. This is so great for Methu to actually show his power. Methu is also naturally loved. He's just naturally loved because of his nature. He's entertaining. He's funny. You understand? So definitely they had to prove a point that in Mount Kenya, we don't want UDA to come and dominate in our bedroom. Remember, we are talking about Gashagwa's hometown, okay? We are talking about Nyandarua. And what actually made this by-election to come by? Remember, the by-election was forced in after the Olkalau David Kiarao, Member of Parliament, was laid to rest, remember. So, in our own opinion, it was a battle between Kithure Kindiki and Rigathi Gachagua, who will stamp this authority. Remember, Kithure Kindiki is in the running government, and Gachagua is the excommunicated deputy president after being impeached. So, who has the weight? Who runs Mount Kenyan region? Who calls the shots? Remember, right now, Kithure Kindiki is the senior most person in the government, but cannot control the mountain, not even with the 10%, because all of them are being controlled by Rigathi Gachagua. What an interesting theory and the politics. Well, can we listen to Methu and his direct message to William Ruto? You know what? You remember that time during the burial of the Olkalau Member of Parliament, David Kiarao? Methu was very bold and he stated it clearly. You know what? I don't fear you, President William Ruto, rather, I just respect you. And that went very viral after lecturing His Excellency. What did you expect? But in my own theory, I knew exactly what was coming, that UDA was not going to stand a chance to win the Olkalau by-elections unless they did some thorough rigging. Well, what's your take? What do you think? After UDA has spent all that money and splashing all this empowerment program, the gases, the mattresses, the pipes, the boats, but still ended up losing these by-elections. What should come in your mind? Because Mount Kenya is decided. Should we conclude that Mount Kenya has decided that they are not going to be bought off during elections? Rather, they know exactly whom they are going to vote for, but they will consume this money no matter what. Well, politics, the challenges of politics, the games and interests whom you support with what comes after. Remember, Mount Kenya has just made itself clear they are not going to be bought off like these ones who say they want power. With ODM being bought off and being given peanut as the empowerment program. Well, stay tuned to Royal News for more updates as we follow up on this developing story of DCP stamping authority in Olkalau by elections. On Royal News, the channel where you get all your trending bulletins. JD Ishmaels.